Hello everyone, welcome to Math Archives. In this video, I am going to explain chi-square test for independence of attributes. You know already, chi-square is used to test whether the difference between observed and expected frequencies are significant or not. Under independence of attributes, two attributes are given. So we have to test using chi-square, we have to test whether the two attributes are independent or dependent. The test statistic used under independent of attributes is chi-square is equal to sigma observed minus expected the whole square over E. Here O represents observed frequency and E represents expected frequency. This follows chi-square distribution with R minus 1 into S minus 1 degrees of freedom. Here R represents number of rows and S represents number of columns. With this short introduction, let me now move on to a simple example and explain the procedure involved in chi-square test for independence of attributes. Use chi-square to test whether the two attributes in the following contingency table are independent. For that, income and product preference is given. So, product preference having three options, product A or product B or product C, whereas income level also having three categories like low, medium and high. Here the two attributes are income and product preferred. So we have to test these two attributes are independent or dependent. For that, we make use of chi-square test for independence of attributes. For that, let me first set up the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. Null hypothesis is usually denoted as H naught. I am going to set up the null hypothesis as the two attributes income level and product preferred are independent. Whereas alternatively, I am going to set up the alternative hypothesis as it is usually denoted as H1. The two attributes income and product preferred are dependent. Next we move on to level of significance. It is usually denoted as alpha. Nothing is mentioned about the level of significance, so we have to take the level of significance as 5% or 0.05. Next we move on to a test statistic. Under the null hypothesis H naught, the test statistic is chi-square is equal to sigma observed minus expected the whole square over E. Here O represents observed frequency and E represents expected frequency. And this follows a chi-square distribution with R minus 1 into S minus 1 degrees of freedom. To calculate the value of chi-square, we need the values of expected frequencies in each cell. So by making use of the observed frequencies, we have to calculate the expected frequencies. And just show you the observed frequencies given in a problem. So, before calculating the expected frequencies, let me first calculate the row total and column total and also the whole total. So that first let me calculate the row total. By adding 14 plus 8 plus 5, we get the total as 27. Then for the second row, adding 12 plus 51 plus 11, we get the total as 74. And for the third row, 7 plus 24 plus 18, we get the row total as 49. Likewise, we have to add the column total too. So by adding 14 plus 12 plus 7, we get the column total as 33. And by adding 8 plus 51 plus 24, we get the column total as 83. And for the last column, 5 plus 11 plus 18, we get the column total 34 here. So this is what the row total and column total we have calculated. Then we have to calculate the whole total. So let me first add the column total first. That is by adding 33 plus 83 plus 34, we get the whole total as 150. Likewise, we have to add this by row wise 2. That is 27 plus 74 plus 49, we get 150. So our whole total is here 150. So after calculating this row total and column total, then we have to calculate the expected frequencies in each cell. So the expected frequency in each cell is calculated by taking the ratio of the product of row total and column total whole divided by the whole total. By taking these ratio gives you the expected frequencies in each cell. Now, by make use of these values, we have to calculate the expected frequencies. This is what the total we have calculated just now. So by make use of these values, we calculate the expected frequencies in each cell. So first for this, that is the expected frequency for 14. The observation 14 is, for that I have to multiply its corresponding row total with column total and divide that value with the grand total. The 14 has the row total as 27 and its column total 33. So row total 27 multiplied with 33 over the whole total is 150. This is what the whole total we get. Next, the expected frequency for age. For this, the corresponding row total and column total as 27 is the row total and 83 is the column total. So we have to multiply 27 with 83 and divide this by 150. You get the expected frequency for the observed frequency age. And for the next, the expected frequency for this observed frequency 5 is, you just multiply this by row total and column total. Here you get the row total as 27 multiplied with 34 and divide this by 150. You get the corresponding expected frequency. And for the second row, the expected frequency for the observed frequency 12 is obtained by multiplying its row total. That is, for 12 the row total is 74 multiply 74 with its column total 33 and divide this by 150, you get the expected frequency for the observed frequency 12. Next, for 51, its corresponding row total is 74 multiplied with 83 and divide this by 150, you get the expected frequency for the observed frequency 51. And for 11, its corresponding row total is 74 and you multiply it with its column total 34 and divide this by 150, you get the expected frequencies. And for the next, and for 7, its corresponding row total is 49 and its column total is 33. You multiply both of these values and divide this by 150. And for 24, its corresponding row total is 49, that's multiplied with 83 and divide this by 150. Likewise for the last one, 18 has the rows total 49 and you multiplied it with its column total 34 and divide this by the whole total 150. So the expected frequency in each cell is calculated by taking the ratio of the product of row total and column total whole divided by whole total. By taking this ratio gives you the expected frequency in each cell. Now, we have to calculate the expected frequencies for this. So, when you multiply, now I have to calculate this value first. So, 27 multiplied by 33 and divide this by 150, you get the value as 5.94. 5.94. And for the second one, 27 multiplied with 83 and divide this value by 150, you get the value as 14.94. And for the third one, 27 multiplied with 34 and divide this by 150, you get the total as 6.12. And for the next 74 multiplied by 33 and divide this by 150, you get the total as 16.28. Then 74 multiplied by 83 and divide this by 150, you get the total as 40.9466, etc. I have to take only 2 decimal places, so 40.95. And for the next one, 74 multiplied by 34 and divide this by 150, you get the value as 16.7733, etc. I have to take up to 2 decimal places, so 16.77 I have to take. So 16.77. And for the next one, 49 multiplied with 33 and divide this by 150, you get 10.78. And 49 multiplied with 83 and divide this by 150, you get 27.1133, etc. So we have to take up to 2 decimal places only. So I have to take 27.11. So 27.11. And for the last one, 49 multiplied with 34 and divide this by 150, you get 11.1066. So we have to take 2 decimal places, so 11.11. So 11.11. So we have calculated the expected frequencies. as expected frequencies we have calculated. So for the observed frequencies we have calculated the expected frequencies by make use of these two values, and we now calculate the value of chi-square. Before we move to the calculation part of chi-square, let me check whether this calculated value of expected frequency is coincide with the row total and column total. So for that, let me first add the expected frequencies by row wise. 5.94 plus 14.94 plus 6.12, I get the total as 27. Look at this total with the observed frequencies row total, both of them coincide, isn't it? So for the second row, I have to add the expected frequencies as 16.28 plus 40.95 plus 16.77, we get the value as 74. So by adding all these values, we get 74. So this value, row total value, also coincide with the observed frequencies row total. And also, let me now add the third row. 10.78 plus 27.11 plus 11.11, we get the total as 49. Likewise, I have to add the column total too. So by adding column wise, we get 5.94 plus 16.28 plus 10.78, we get the total as 33. And for the second column, by adding 14.94 plus 40.95 plus 27.11, we get the total as 83. And for the last column, 6.12 plus 16.77 plus 11.11. So you get the total as 34. And by adding its corresponding row total and column total, we get the whole total. So for that, first I have to add the row total first. So 27 plus 74 plus 49, you get the row total as 150. Likewise, we have to add by column wise too. That is 33 plus 83 plus 34, we get the whole total as 150. So look at the whole total and row total and column total values. So here itself, the row total value and column total value coincides with the observed frequencies row total and column total, and also the grand total value also should be coincide with the observed frequencies grand total. So no need to calculate this row total for expected frequencies and column total for expected frequencies for our calculation purpose. We just calculate this total value only to verify whether our calculated value of expected frequencies are correct or not. Just for verification only, we have to calculate this row total and column total and check whether this coincide with the or it is equal to the whole total of the observed frequencies. Okay. So by doing like this, we have to identify where we have to commit mistakes and we have to correct it. Okay. So next we move on to our calculation part of chi-square. So for that, I have to construct a table, whereas it consists of 5 columns. The first column represents the observed frequency that is given in our problem, and the expected frequencies that is we have calculated just now, and next we calculate the difference between observed minus expected and we square that value, and then finally we make the ratio of observed minus expected the whole square over E, and this could be our chi-square value. For that, let me first find the difference between observed and expected frequencies. Let me first find the difference between observed and expected frequencies. For that, subtract 14 minus 5.94. You get the value as 8.06. Simultaneously, we square this value. So by squaring these values, we get 64.9636. So here I have to take up to 2 decimal places. So 64.96 only I have to take. And for the second one, 12 minus 16.28, we get the answer as minus 4.28. And squaring these value, we get minus become positive. So 4.28 square, we get 18.3184. I have to take only 2 decimal places, so 18.32. Next, I have to subtract 7 minus 10.78. You get the value as minus 3.78, and by squaring this value, we get 3.78 square. We get 14.29. Since I am going to take only 2 decimal places, next 8 minus 14.74, we get minus 6.74. By squaring this value, we get 6.74 square. You get 45.23. Sorry, 45.43. I have to take only 2 decimal places. Next, 51 minus 40.95. You get 10.05. By squaring this value, we get 101.0025. So I have to take up 101.00. No need to write 0. So next, 24 minus 27.11. We get minus 3.11. By squaring these value, we get minus become positive. So 3.11 square is 9.67. Here itself I have to take up to 2 decimal places. Next, 5 minus 6.12. You get minus 1.12. By squaring, minus become positive. So 1.12 square is 1.25. I have to take only 2 decimal places. Next, 11 minus 16.77. You get the total resulting value as minus 5.77. So by squaring this value, minus become positive. So 5.77 square is 33.29. 33.29. Next, 18 minus 11.11. Get the value as 6.89, and by squaring this value, we get 47.47. So after calculating this, we have to take the ratio of the observed frequency minus expected frequency whole square with the expected frequency. 64.96 over 5.94, we get 10.936 etc. Here I have to take up to 2 decimal places, so 10.94. So 10.94, and then next I have to take the ratio of 18.32 by corresponding expected frequency 16.28. We get 1.125 etc. here itself I have to take up to 2 decimal places, so 1.13. So 1.13. Then next 14.29 by 10.78, we get the value as 1.325, etc. So I have to take only 2 decimal places, so 1.33. And then next 45.43 divided by 14.74. So I get the value as 0.08. I get the value as 3.08. Then next 101 divided by 40.95, we get the value as 2.466, etc. So by taking 2 decimal places, so 2.47. Next 9.67 divided by 27.11, I get the value as 0.356, etc. So by taking 2 decimal places, 0.36, and then dividing 1.25 by 6.12, we get 0.20. So 0.20 and 33.29 divided by 16.77, you get the value as 1.985, etc. So 1.99. Then last, by dividing 47.47 divided by 11.11, you get the value as 4.27. So 4.27. So we calculate the ratio of observed minus expected whole square over E. Now we calculate this total value. 10.94 plus 1.13 plus 1.33 plus 3.08 plus 2.47 plus 0.36 plus 0.20 plus 1.99 plus 4.27. You get the total as 25.77. So sigma observed minus expected the whole square over E is 25.77. Our calculated value of chi square is 25.77. Now let me move on to our conclusion part. So our calculated value of chi square is equal to 25.77. Now we have to compare this value with the table value. So for that, let me find the table value of chi square at 5% level of significance for the degrees of freedom is calculated by make use of the product of r minus 1 and s minus 1. R represents number of rows since we are having 3 rows, and s represents number of columns. So we are having 3 columns. So 3 minus 1 multiplied with 3 minus 1, that is 2 by 2. So we get 4. So for 4 degrees of freedom is, for 4 degrees of freedom is, let me show you a table. For that, the level of significance 0.05 is here and the degrees of freedom is 4. So this is the value. This is the value here. So 4 and 5% level of significance, we get 9.49. So our table value of chi-square is 9.49. So our calculated value of chi-square is 25.77, is not less than a table value of chi-square, which is 9.49. That means we reject H0, or alternatively we accept H1. So compare these two values now. So our calculated value is higher than the tabulated value. If the calculated value is lesser than the tabulated value, then only we accept our null hypothesis, or otherwise we reject the null hypothesis. So here we have to reject the null hypothesis H0. That means we accept the alternative hypothesis H1. That means the two attributes income level and product preferred are dependent with each other. That is what the conclusion. So this is what the conclusion we have arrived based on the observations given in our problem. Hope you got a clear idea about chi-square test for independence of attributes. Thanks for watching. See you again in my next video.